Good morning, my dear friends. Our gospel this morning tells us about the calling of the 12 apostles. These 12 guys are very ordinary men during their time. Some of them were known as public sinners. Some of them were insignificant personality. Some of them were uneducated fishermen, and some of them were troublemakers. If we're going to examine their resume, their biography one by one, some of them, not all, Peter, he is known to be an outspoken guy, opinionated person. He acts without thinking, always on the go. He is a denial king. He denied Jesus thrice. Matthew, he was known as his name was Levi. He's a dishonest person, corrupt tax collector, and he was considered beast in human form, dishonest. Bartholomew, he formerly known as Nathaniel. He's a skeptic. He had issue with prejudice. He's biased with people from Nazareth. A man filled with biases. James and John, in the gospel, they are called sons of thunder. It means they have a violent temper. I don't know if you remember, they were the one who asked for rain of fire to destroy those who refuse to believe in Jesus. And they are also ambitious person because they ask for a special place. One sit at your right and the other at your left. Philip is a timid guy, lack of confidence. Andrew is very inquisitive, very curious about the affair of others. Thomas, we know him, is a very skeptical person, the famous doubter. And Simon the Zealot is very revolutionary, idealistic, and very proud of himself. And finally, the mention of Judas, traitor. He loves money more than people. Now, looking at the resume of these 12 apostles, we can say they are not perfect. But amidst of their weaknesses, amidst of their imperfections, they were chosen, they were commissioned, and they were called by God. Personally and humanly speaking, we may say, they are not qualified. But you know what? That's the very reason why Jesus called them. That's the very reason why they were chosen. Because the gospel for today is telling us that the qualification is not perfection. The invitation is, follow me. Because the gospel this morning trying to tell me and you that God qualifies the unqualified. God does not call the qualified, but He qualifies those whom He called. That's why don't wait until you feel you are qualified to do what God is calling you to do. Because God has the habit of picking up nobodies and making them somebody. Don't wait. And you said yourself, well, I'm not perfect, I'm not qualified. Okay? Perfection is not the qualification. Just follow the Lord. That's the invitation. Come and see. Even looking at on my personal vocation, on myself, I told myself, and even some people are telling me, you are not qualified for the priesthood. Because there are some standards to meet. Some says, you are not good looking, you are not smart enough, you are not intelligent, you are not virtuous. But you know what? That's their qualification. I am not following them, but God has different qualification. Let us remember this, my dear friends, my dear parishioners. The ability to serve God is not based on our ability, but according to God's ability. When we follow God, we are not following the standards of men, but we are following the standard of the one who called us. Because the standard of God is very totally different from the standard of men. If you're going to put yourselves on the qualification of men, you will be frustrated. Because nowadays, it seems that the world is looking for perfect, Mr. and Mrs. Perfect. Like the 12, we have 3 missions to do. God chose these 12 because God wanted Jesus, wanted him to be with him, to be with Jesus. And this is our calling, to be with God, to be close with God. Never mind of your pasts. Just be with God. And second, our mission is to preach. To preach. Jesus appointed them to be sent out to proclaim the message. And finally, like the apostles, we were given authority to drive out evil spirit, to cast out demons. Maybe you will say, well, I am not qualified because my life is questionable. My morality is I don't trust. And that is really the reason why God called us. Just stay with the Lord. Because when you stay with Him, you will learn from Him. Stay with the Lord. Because when you be with Him, He said, I will give you the Spirit so that the Spirit will help you to speak on the right time. Just stay with the Lord. Because when you are with the Lord, evil spirit trembles. Let me end my reflection by saying again, do not wait until you feel qualified to do what God is calling you to do. Because we have a God who qualifies the unqualified. And never be discouraged, never be frustrated by your imperfections, because that's the reason why God came.